It's a shame to talk over this music. It's quite amazing. In fact, this whole game has taken me by complete surprise. It's unbelievable. Nobody told me Donkey Kong on the Game Boy was this good. I wasn't playing Game Boy in 1994, but thanks to depreciation, I waited 15 years and picked up my cartridge used for $2.50, the best $2.50 I've ever spent. Gotta love used games. Many of you watching right now are probably very familiar with this game, but if you're not, it's like the arcade Donkey Kong, but complete with an adventure mode. So it's like Donkey Kong Plus. It starts off with 4 levels that are very, very similar to the original Donkey Kong levels, and then just takes on a whole life of its own. As you adventure through, I think it's 100 or 101 different levels complete in the game. I'm still playing through it slowly right now in between everything else that I'm doing, but I really like this version of Donkey Kong. I think it's my favorite one, because it combines strategy with just good old school Donkey Kong gameplay. And the controls are terrific on the Nintendo Game Boy. I'm playing this on the Game Boy Advance SP model AGS101, which is the unit that I reviewed for the hardware review. The first series of boards are in the big city. And here's where things get pretty cool, because you're going for that key to unlock the door and find your way to your lady friend. It's not just about jumping over sparks and barrels anymore. Now you have to dodge all kinds of interesting creatures and use some tricks that are unique to this game. It's wildly addictive, and just like the original Donkey Kong, you're being timed, so the faster you get through the level, the more points that you earn. You can also save the game. There's items like the hat and the umbrella that you can collect along the way, too. I'm sure that many of you watching right now are regretting that you sold your Game Boy and Game Boy collection years ago. And what did you do with that money? You probably blew it on a new game console, or your girlfriend at the time. Either of which was a bad move. Girlfriends come and go, but Donkey Kong is forever. If you've never played this game, take it from me, I highly recommend you do so. Just back in '94, I was all into Sega Genesis and had nothing to do with Game Boy. As you may imagine, one button jumps, the other one does some action functions like picking up things like the key, or animals if you land on top of them. In addition to the standard levels where you have to use strategy and timing to get through the level as fast as possible while still collecting everything, there's some boss levels where you confront Donkey Kong himself. What's incredible is that this is on the Game Boy, 1994, two-dimensional graphics, originally played in black and white, and this is better than 99.9% of the video games being released today. It comes down to gameplay and level design. This is an absolute masterpiece. Just look at it. You could buy this game and a Game Boy Advance SP for less than the price of one standard video game these days. So if you missed it the first time around, pick up Donkey Kong Game Boy. If you're missing this because you sold it and your Game Boy collection to buy your girlfriend dinner 10 years ago, well, hopefully you had a nice dinner. There's not much else I can say. I'm taking my time going through the game, and then eventually I'll go through the whole thing again at once to earn a high score. If you like any of the Donkey Kong games or Mario Brothers games, you'll love this. And it's 2D, two-dimensional. Some of this stuff comes over to 3D pretty well, but these short, contained, strategic levels kind of games, if that's really a genre, which I may have just made up, work best in 2D. Donkey Kong for Game Boy.